Hey guys, so today I wanted to talk about the time I worked in a pub. Well, anyways, I worked in the pub for over a total of 6 days, spread out over 3 weeks. This was actually 2 years ago, all the way back in June 2017, and it was actually one of the worst experiences I've ever had in my life. This was actually due to being around so many people and having to constantly interact and talk with almost all of them. I remember it being extremely loud and obnoxious, and even on the first night I worked, there was actually a football team in the pub who had just won a match, and they literally puked everywhere. I'm not even joking. These guys puked all over themselves, and of course I was the one who had to clean it all up. I had to clean up everything. It was disgusting because, most of the guys were just sitting on stools and puking all over themselves and could barely walk, talk, or stand, which was annoying as hell for me. So yeah, after they puked on themselves, I went downstairs to the toilet and there was puke in the corner beside the kitchen, and I thought it was so nasty that I couldn't even clean it myself because the smell was just so disgusting. So I was like, fuck this, man. So I got a brush and pushed the vomit under the kitchen door and walked away. Which was kind of nasty, but luckily someone else cleaned it up eventually. One of the most stressful things about working in the pub was trying to change the beer kegs. Trying to change the beer kegs was almost like defusing a bomb and trying not to pull the wrong wire or else the beer would come flying out everywhere. So I was constantly soaked in Guinness and Heineken like the whole time. So I'd be walking around and my hands would just be like fucking sticky as hell, which was rotten. I had to always ask someone to help me change the kegs too, because I just physically couldn't do it because they were so tight and hard to take apart. So I constantly felt like I was annoying everybody by, constantly asking for help. It's honestly kind of funny though, looking back at it now, but back then I really didn't like it at all. At the end of my first day, I had to basically put all of the alcohol on a shelf individually, and I also had to write down notes of what I needed. I actually felt like having a mental breakdown because it was like 1 or 2 in the morning, and I also know myself and my own limits, if you know what I mean. So I knew there was no way I could possibly bring up all of the drink and place hundreds of them on the shelf in a certain order and take down notes of what I actually need. They also wanted it to be kind of neat and tidy, and I'm there thinking to myself, man, I'm so tired and anxious that I can't physically do this within the next hour or two. I swear I thought I was going to be there all night long. So as expected, I failed to take down notes of all the drink that was needed in time, and the other bartenders actually had to eventually help me bring up the alcohol, so I wasn't even surprised that they had to help me, because I just felt like I made myself look very bad because of my constant stress and anxiety. When you have constant anxiety, it can kind of make you appear very kind of awkward, and strange to most people around you. So because of that, I also knew that I was appearing that way, which kind of only made me feel worse while I was there. One time I was trying to stack the shelves with alcohol, and I remember feeling kind of uncomfortable because I could tell that the manager was staring at me, so I turned around and looked at him briefly. Then a few minutes later, he told me to spend more time stacking the shelves instead of looking at him. And I was there kind of, jokingly thinking to myself, well man, if you can see me staring at you, then you're obviously staring at me. Because I just always found it so kind of uncomfortable and frustrating in, social situations when someone is like staring at you for no reason whatsoever. It causes me like massive amounts of anxiety. It gives me like extreme anxiety for some reason. Like, don't get me wrong, he was staring at me because, I was on trial and like he wanted to see how good I was at the job, obviously. So like it makes sense, but that doesn't like not make me anxious, if you know what I mean. I also remember one of the bartenders asked me to go to the shop to actually get him some kind of sweet. I think it was like a bar of chocolate or something, or what was it? Chewing gum, that's what it was. So I went to the shop to find it for him, and I couldn't actually find the chewing gum in the shop. And there was nothing, like, I forgot what it was called as well, which really sucked because I kind of felt dopey. I felt really kind of stupid going back to the bartender and being like, hey man, look, I went to buy your thing, but like I literally don't know what it is. I forget what it was. I couldn't find it in the shop either. I thought it was kind of a frustrating thing to do as well. Like, the guy asked me to go to the shop to buy him food, and I'm kind of thinking to myself, this guy is a lazy asshole. Maybe you should just go buy it yourself. But obviously, since it was my first time there, like, I wanted to give myself a good first impression. So like I done what I was told to do, obviously. And I came back like twice to the bar and told him that I don't know what it was. And then I came back and I bought the wrong bar for him, I think, and he was like, oh yeah, it's fine man. But I still thought it was kind of awkward because it was just so silly and stupid. Like, why would you ask somebody to go up to the shop to buy you something because you're not arsed going yourself? It was really dumb, if you know what I mean. I'm honestly glad that I ended up not getting the job, because I would have hated it with every inch of my life, because I suffered a lot when working there for over the course of 6 days, I think it was in total. It was 6 days spread out over 3 weeks. I think I said that already, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I eventually on the last day I was going to my friend's birthday party, and I said to the manager, I was kind of like, oh yeah, you know, you said I could leave early tonight. It was like 12 o'clock, and usually like, yeah, I'd be allowed to leave kind of earlier, and he was kind of like, oh yeah, you can go. So I went up and asked him if I could go, and he was kind of like, oh yeah, you know, I think you're not too cut out for this job. And I was kind of like, oh yeah, I know, I don't really think so either, to be honest. And he was just kind of like, oh yeah, I know. And it was kind of awkward because I felt like I let them down, but it's like, whatever, okay, I don't really care at this stage because I just want to get the fuck out. So yeah, I left, and it was super awkward because I went straight up to the nightclub to meet my friend for his birthday, and I was in the nightclub and I realised that I had the keys from the cellar in the pub in my pocket. So I'm like, oh shit, that's not good, I have to walk back. And I kind of ran up the road back to the pub. And it was weird because I walked in and they were all like sitting there on the stools waiting for me. Like the manager himself and the two other bartenders were like just sitting there talking as if they knew that I had it and they were just waiting for me to come back. So I just casually, awkwardly strolled in. I'm like, oh yeah, here's your keys, lads, I'm so sorry. And they just kind of stared at me like, oh yeah, it's fine. You could tell they were kind of like, oh my god, this guy's an idiot. So yeah, it's awkward as hell. That was honestly one of the best nights out though. For my friend's birthday that night, he went home sick, and it was a huge sense of relief for me because I finally finished working in that shit pub, and I just had such a good night out with my friends after that. Even though I didn't get to meet my friend or anything like that, it was just a really fun and exciting night because I'm like, yes, I don't have to go in the pub ever again, fuck that job and fuck everyone there. I'm joking, but yeah, that's kind of what it was in my head, you know. Alright guys, so this is just a small story time video, so if you've actually watched it, I'd appreciate if you left a like and a comment, I guess. I know it's not very long, I just decided to do this because it's the only thing I can do right now, really. Like, I'm just trying to think of more stuff to do, more content and all that, and hopefully I'll have more in the future, so thanks for watching.